Hello and welcome back to Puggle Clay Studio. Okay, so this is our Echidna, and if you think it turned out cute, you should have been there halfway through making it, because I hated it. I didn't trust the process or myself, and I almost quit multiple times, but somehow I kept going. And this Echidna taught me 10 lessons about clay, creativity, and trust. So if you've ever made something and thought, wow, this is awful, then this video is for you. Starting off strong though, I thought I'd practice on a spare piece of clay the spikes that I wanted for the Echidna, and I was really happy with this. I sculpted the feet multiple times and decided on a minimal, cute look, and then I started making the spikes, and everything at this point was going great. Until it wasn't. Lesson 1. Taking texture too far. Look, I wanted a minimal calm look, just the hint of Echidna spikes, but I kept going and going until it was full-on texture overload. If I had just stopped, I wouldn't have now been dealing with this cut all the way down the Echidna that I had to fix up. I should have just stopped, but I didn't. So the lesson here is, when you hit just enough, stop. Sometimes art is about what you take away and not what you add. Editing me is now realizing, wow, that is a lot of texture, and it took a very long time for a mediocre result, really. Lesson 2. Bake properly. I used my cute little aesthetic oven this time with no temperature setting and no heat distribution, and it pretty much grilled the Echidna. Oh, and I didn't use baking paper foil or a silicone mat, so the clay literally stuck to the tray, but none of that really mattered because then it ripped in half. So next time, let's bake it in the correct oven for the correct amount of time at the correct temperature, and maybe use a silicone mat on our tray. Lesson 3. Breaks are not the end. After it snapped and I genuinely wanted to quit, I took a minute and instead I just glued it back together. I filled the cracks, sanded, and kept going. There's no footage of that, by the way, because I was super angry. If you do make a sculpture out of polymer clay and it has a crack, it doesn't mean you failed. It just means you're not finished yet. Lesson 4. Commit to that colour palette. I planned a strong colour palette inspired by an actual photo of a local Echidna. It was exciting, and halfway through, it started looking weird and I panicked. I started doubting the colours, the idea. I started doubting my life choices, let's be honest. But just commit long enough to let it work. It's really not that serious. Lesson 5. Sculpt the details. Although I don't have footage, I created so many little claws for this guy and they all just looked weird and out of place. So I decided to go with these feet and then paint in the claws. But that just left me with this Echidna wearing nail polish. Even though they looked weird, I think the claws were integral to this sculpt and I should have left them. So next time I'll sculpt the details. Lesson 6. I painted the base coat. It looked great. And then immediately I started painting on top of it while it was still wet, so everything smeared and mixed and turned into a muddy mess. I know I was impatient. The base coat needs time to dry or the colours will not behave. That is our lesson. Oh, lesson 7. Don't repaint while the layers are wet. I made this mistake and I made it worse by trying to fix it instantly. I kept repainting over wet paint and layering new colours which changed the tones and it became a thick, clumpy mess. It just got so much harder to control. Let it dry before you panic paint. Lesson 8. Don't do details when you're tired. Yep, I did eyes late at night. Big mistake. One dot is bigger, then one dot's uneven. The placement's off and suddenly the echidna's looking kinda haunted. Small details require fresh energy. Let's try again with fresh morning eyes. There, much better. Now that all the base layers are dry, I thought I'd go in with a big dry brush to try to catch some little highlights in the spikes, and I'm really happy with this part. Dry brushing is a great way to bring out small details in your sculpt. Lesson 9. We've come to glazing. I used the wrong brush because mine was dirty and this left streaks, it left texture, bubbles, and this was totally avoidable if I had just got the proper brush. And this brush lost so many bristles that I didn't realize, and now they are permanent inside the UV resin. So take the time and find the right brush. Lesson 10. The whole Echidna sculpt taught me that the messy middle is always the worst part. It's the part where you may want to quit, the part where you don't trust yourself. But if you keep going, you can fix almost anything, or you can change direction with your art and discover something completely new. This Echidna taught me to trust the process, even though I forgot that the entire way. I hope my mistakes during this sculpt helped you to learn something new. And if you like this video and this little echidna, please let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.